is the 30th of November 2022, the last day then before we jump into the Christmas month, where some people say Christmas starts on the 1st of November. Well, for those who believe in it. A good morning. You are watching The Morning Drifts. My name is Simba Elijah Charles Kiage. Since it is Wednesday, I am not alone. I am with Nancy Nelima. Nancy Nelima, good morning.
Good morning, Simba. I believe I'm still the forever WCW.
Oh yeah? And we said that it has a new meaning now.
Yeah,
it is Working Woman Wednesday.
Yes.
Oh yeah?
Yes, and that I am. Nancy Nelima right here. The hashtag is The Morning Drift. A good morning from wherever you are watching us from. Remember, you can catch us live across all our social media platforms at Lookuptv on Twitter, Facebook and YouTube. And the hashtag is The Morning Drift. Simba, it is a very good day for the hustlers.
I will tell you that.
Yeah, as we await the official launch of the Hustlers Fund by the President William Ruto. And of course, it was largely part of his campaign. It was the Hustler government, the Hustler campaigns, and ultimately now the Hustlers Fund, which is going to be launched today. Of course, that is a story that we'll be covering right here on Lookuptv. But something very interesting, Simba, is that there's a lot of reaction towards this, and critics just saying that then what is the difference of the Hustlers Fund and all the mobile apps? Because the Hustlers Fund then gives between 500 shillings to 50,000, and we have a lot of mobile apps that give even more. Yeah. So you are the business guy, Simba. So how different is the Hustlers Fund from all the other mobile money apps?
I think it's going to be the interest rate, because you see what the Treasury is saying, that this particular fund is going to be pegged at 8% flat, depending on how good your credit score is. But if you comp the market, Nelima, and even look at majority of the mobile apps, right now your interest rate could be above 10%. I mean, banks are giving you loans at around 17% now, going by the adjustments of the CBR. So that's going to be the difference. But right now, as far as the government is concerned, they're making losses out of this fund. They've pegged it at 50 billion. They're also asking banks to come in. But the only thing is right now, it's going to be at 8% interest rates, depending on your credit score. I'm not saying you can't get it, but then if your credit score is a bit of a mess, then it might attract, again, higher interest rates. But the difference is 8%.
The 8% interest. Yes. And the other thing as well is that on the campaign trail, then this fund was seen to be more like a grant. And then there was a bit of a change of tune right there, and now it's going to be as a loan. So that is the whole other conversation. But we'll be looking to see what President William Ruto will be saying at the official launch, which will be happening from around 10 this morning.
Yes, and I think that's part of what we're going to focus heavily on. Look at business today, but other conversations that are taking center stage in the country now. Nelima, the president did announce that the new CSs are going to forgo their next month's salary, that is for the month of November, completely, and all those funds are going to be channeled into the new pay bill that was launched by the Deputy President the other day to fight hunger and the drought crisis in the country. Your quick sentiments on that, Nelima. How much do they take home? 800,000? Yeah, times 21. Quick math on that, by the way. It's a couple of good millions that expected to hit that particular account. I'm going to calculate, Nelima. I was not very good at math in school, so I just got to
make it off head.
No. Yeah, but I just want to be spot on. Okay. And I'm gonna do it at 23, because we do know that those CS positions, by the way, now increased to 23. So in total, that's gonna be 18.4 million that has already been donated to that particular kitty for the fighting of hunger and drought in the country.
I think this is now
quick remarks, Nelima.
Leading by example, I would say.
Well, you say that.
Because then if the Deputy President Kiage Simba told people to give an amount
Yeah.
of their salaries that
Yeah.
will go into mitigating the current drought situation in the country.
Yeah.
And if the cabinet secretaries who are valued at millions,
Yeah.
then if they give an amount of their salary, seems about right and fair, and I think that's leading by example. And of course, it's also a call to all Kenyans, because drought is a reality in the country. Lives have been lost, animals have been lost, domestic and wild animals as well.
Yeah.
And so of course it is a call to action,
Yeah.
that in your small capacity, with whatever little you have, it can save a life and it can make life better
Yeah.
for Kenyans who are living in a very devastating state right now.
Yes, I was actually a bit wrong. I'll be coming back with a proper analysis of that, Nelima, in terms of their salaries, because it's not 800,000, by the way. It is 924,000. But I'll be giving you a breakdown, Nelima, and then I'm asking you, do you think it would really make sense? Because they are entitled to a lot of perks. That coming your way at our trends this morning. But just before that conversation, then let's take a tiny breather, come back and tell you exactly what is trending on your day list today. Welcome back. You are watching The Morning Drift. My name is Simba Kiage. I am with Nancy Nelima this morning as we traverse what is trending essentially in the country this morning. And Nelima, I know you do have the Standard. What are they headlining? Right,
and top on the Standard, Simba, the story making headlines today.
Yep.
Everyone is looking to see the launch of the Hustler Fund. So it says the good, the bad, and the ugly. Of course, largely.
Well, I was looking at that headline, by the way. I'm sorry to interject there, Nelima. Let's look at it. Is that? I think we have our graphics could be on the wrong one this morning. But anyway, if you look at that headline, the good, the bad, and the ugly. What is the difference between bad and ugly?
There is a difference.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say that. Actually, we're talking about the Standard. We must have picked about the right headline there. Yeah, actually, we do. Let's talk about that particular headline, Nelima. The good, the bad, and the ugly.
Right.
The difference between bad and ugly.
And you know, the Hustler Fund, of course, has caused a lot of conversation, being that it's there to benefit the hustler, who are the low-income earners, people who have small businesses. Yeah. And of course, so that in itself is good. And so, of course, it was supposed to be, rather, it was implied to be sort of a grant. But now the tune changed. Now it will be on a loan basis, and of course, as you mentioned, the interest rate then is going to be a little lower than what is in most banks. Yeah. And the ugly, perhaps it is the actualization and the implementation. We know that in this country, historically, then implementation has been a challenge. Yes. There have been big projects, even Kazi Mtaani, but the implementation has had some hitches here and there. So we'll just be looking to see how eventually the Hustlers Fund is going to play out. Of course, top of the issues right there, the National Treasury is expected to set aside 50 billion shillings as a maximum seed capital with Parliament's approval. So, but I believe you'll be breaking down these numbers just to make perhaps our viewers understand the initial capital that the government is seeking to put in on the Hustlers Fund. And to qualify for the fund, individuals will have to be at least 18 years and above and are holders of Kenya National Identity Card. So very fair for most Kenyans, they say, because the requirements then, it is not a tedious process as long as you're of age, which is an adult in Kenya, and that is measured by you acquiring the identity card. And as well, banks and financial service providers can also apply for loans for forward lending for entrepreneur or the MSMEs. Yes. So that is a lot of conversation. And of course, there is the 8% interest that will be charged. So that is top on the Standard today, Simba. And as well, Raila suspends the People's Assembly.
Oh yeah, by the way.
Today, the Wednesday, which is the 30th of November, was supposed to be the start of the mass action by the Azimio Brigade. And of course, this is because of the IEBC 4 commissioners, who are famously known as the Opaque 4, who had a dissenting view in the August 9th polls. And of course, there have been hearings that were ongoing. Yesterday, Tuesday, was the last day of the hearing. And so their fate will be known any time from now. And of course, Raila Odinga, who is the leader of the Azimio Brigade, just pushing for their safety, saying that it is politically instigated and it is a witch hunt. So that is what's happening on the Standard. Simba, maybe what's happening on your end?
Now, I will tell you that if you look at the Daily Nation, it's essentially just headlining what we're talking about, the Hustler Fund. Everybody is talking about it today. By the way, do expect that the launch is supposed to happen from 10 to 1 p.m. today. So we're expecting then, we shall be giving you updates, by the way, because our reporter, that is Shata Kareria, is already heading to the State House so we can get proper updates on that particular story. So here's the thing, same thing. That the Standard is covering. So maybe an additional detail on that. It's just going to be 50 billion. That is the amount that has been set aside for this particular fund. And they're saying that under this, there's going to be an upper limit of annual turnover of businesses to benefit from the fund. One must be 18 years and above to apply. So meaning that for as a business, if you're going to then benefit from this particular fund, you've got to have a turnover of 100 million above. That's something that we're going to talk about on a look at business today. But other than that, there's a story on page 6 of the Daily Nation on how the planned importation of the GMO, import duty-free maize into the country, has been postponed to next year, just to give priority to local farmers in the country. Nelima, I gotta ask you, when you, is it that the two CSs do not understand what their job description is? What is your JD as the CS trade and the CS agriculture?
Yeah, I feel like there's a need for these cabinet secretaries just to perhaps come to an agreement. Yeah, or rather, like that was a bit of dirty linen in public.
Or somebody who doesn't know what their job description is. Yeah,
I feel like maybe the president should give more guidance. You know, it's a little too early in the job. And so, because it is not the first time, you know, we saw Cabinet Secretary for Education, Machogu, saying that then the funding for public universities is going to be cut off and then changing tune. So perhaps it is the first days at work. You know, Simba, your first day at work, probably you went to the gallery instead of the newsroom. So perhaps there could be that confusion, but I believe that there is need for more alignment of roles so that the whole conflict can be eased out.
Isn't it? Because then I'm wondering, maybe we need to go to Mombasa by then, maybe talk to our HR. We carry out that story of what is now then going on with the ship that docked in Mombasa with the GMO maize into the country, you know?
Because now what happens to it?
Because of what happens to it. You can unload it, or you unload it and take the maize to the warehouse. Which warehouse is that is accepting this?
Right, and Simba, on that as well, remember the CS Trade, who is Moses Korea, had given farmers an ultimatum of just about less than a month to complete the selling of their maize, and which farmers were arguing, farmers of course from Rift Valley and the Trans-Nzoia region as well, and they were arguing that this is a very short period because they have enough food to even feed those who were faced by hunger in different parts of this country in at least 23 counties. And so the time period was very small. And at least now that the quote has come in, the farmers, it is a reprieve for a lot of them, as they say now that they'll be able to sell their farm products.
I will tell you that. Anyway, just as we sign out, but there's a story on the back page of the Daily Nation, isn't it? That is talking about how there's no more room to borrow. That is from the new CS Treasury. Njuguna Ndungu, who's already converted short-term debt to the tune of 87.8 billion into long-term debt. Now, I will tell you that, and maybe Ian Kitani will also come and talk to us about why Onana has been taken out of the Cameroon squad. It's an interesting thing right there. But Nelima will be telling you what he did after we sign off from what is trending, which is exactly what we're going into next. Some of the stories right that we're talking about in the dailies are going to be covered right there. Short breather. Once we come back, we'll be getting into that particular segment. Welcome back. Join us online at Lookuptv across all your social media platforms. This is Drift. My name is Simba Charles Kiage.
Thank you so much for tuning in, and you can catch us live across all our social media platforms at Lookuptv on Twitter, Lookuptv on Facebook, Lookuptv on YouTube, and at Nelima on Twitter.
I am at Kiage Simba. Let's then jump into our tweet center this morning so we can see exactly what it is that you're talking about online as regards what is going on in the country. I don't know whether it's ready, so we can actually go through it together, and some of those contributions, by the way, we've already spoken about them. So just seeking your perspective on them. Let's begin it. Are we ready, Paul? Is it ready? Should be. All right, thank you very much. This is what we spoke about. President Ruto and his cabinet to forgo 1 month's salary in solidarity with the Kenyans affected with the drought. Now, Nelima, let me just pick it like this. Now, this is what a CS is entitled to, by the way. Here's the thing: basic salary of 554,400.
Right.
A house allowance of 200,000. And market adjustment of 169,600 for a total gross salary of 924,000 flat. Now listen, a state car with a maximum engine capacity of 3,000 cc. Doesn't stop there. Benefits as follows: inpatient 10 million, outpatient 300,000, maternity 150,000, dental 75,000, and optical 75,000. By the way, this is on a monthly basis.
Well, those the good packs.
Yeah, and then eligible for 10 million car loan and a 40 million shillings mortgage. Now listen, a daily subsistence allowance for domestic and international travel shall be paid to state officers in accordance with the rates reviewed and set by SRC. So even if you want to move around, you don't take it out of your pocket. That is already paid for. Now, a monthly airtime benefit of 20,000 bob. Wow. Listen to that. Now, when you look at all this, by the way, Nelima, you can recoup all this on a monthly basis. You see this one for maternity, 150K, and outpatient 300,000, optical 75,000. You can recoup it on a monthly basis if you don't get to use it, because those are your benefits. So when they're gonna do away with 554,000, but the rest of them up to the tune of around 350,000. Actually, 400,000 is left to you. Is that foregoing, or you just don't see
so perhaps you might be those critics who are saying then that they're the right people to donate their salary.
Yeah.
Because again, remember today the Hustlers Fund is being launched for the hustlers, who are the majority in the country. And so for the hustlers who are living on a paycheck to paycheck or hustle to hustle day by day, then they might not be in a very comfortable position to donate. But as well, in our very small capacities, Simba, yet again, there's only something we can do.
Yeah, but Nelima, come on. Are you sure that how though?
Not compared to these healthy packs.
But Nelima, but do you want to donate to the government again? With the levels of payee that we do away with? Because listen, by the way, if you earn 80,000 as your gross salary, you take home only 60,000. 20,000 goes into taxes. Is that not enough?
And it could actually go higher.
Could go higher?
Yeah.
Is that not enough, Nelima?
Oh, well.
But when you come to me and tell me, please donate, but I'm already doing it. So use the taxes. Yeah, appropriate them to that particular function. I'm already doing it as the tax-paying citizen.
Oh, well, and I believe we'd like to get more engagement from you. What are your thoughts in regards to what the Deputy President, Rigathi Gachagua, did say, that we can contribute part of our monthly salary then to contributing to the drought mitigation process? And as well, the Cabinet Secretary is now going to do the same and leading by example. What are your thoughts? The hashtag is the morning drift. Do let us know.
I will tell you that as well. Please do let us know then. Let's move on to the next one that Kenyans are talking about this morning, and that is as regards, I think, the Hustler Fund that is getting launched today. We see Hussein Mohammed tweeted, and this is how it states: from promise to reality, President William Ruto today ushers in a new dawn, the launch of the Hustler Fund. It will not only be about access to affordable credit, but also ending the exclusion of Kenyans at the bottom of the economic pyramid from accessing crucial financial services. No, I don't think so. Nelima, how though?
Well,
because,
I think the launch of the Hustlers Fund definitely elicits different reactions from different people. And perhaps the middle class will not be well catered for, as we've had this conversation before. Of course, we'll have some more tomorrow on Lookuptv. But as well, then the president says, at least for the hustlers, the people who earn very little, he once mentioned the people who live within less than $1 on a single day. And so these are the kind of people that the Hustlers Fund is seeking to target. People who are doing very small businesses that 5,000 shillings could go into being the starting capital or just to bring in new stock. And so it would go largely into helping them sustain these businesses. So again, it is a conversation that may not sit well for everyone, but we'll see the implementation and we'll be following it right here on Lookuptv just to bring you up to speed with exactly how it's going to work. And I believe, Simba, you're going to be doing all the math for us today.
Oh yeah. But here's the thing that you have to think about, though. But we're waiting for the final, just the outlook of the fund. It's not a bit clear now, just waiting for it to come through. Because, Nelima, if you're lending at 8%, and from what I'm saying here, it might be 8% for what? The 2 weeks? That has to be, because if you lend at 8%, Nelima, right now, at an inflation rate of 9.6%, maybe you have to cap it, maybe the period from a month to 2 weeks, so you can actually get to lend more, so you can come back on the losses you're making, going by the inflation rate in the country. So 8% in 2 weeks. Per annum, it might be around 192% per annum, which is not going to be any different from what majority of Kenyans are on Fuliza, Mshwari, and KCB and Pesa alone. So maybe the only thing that we have to celebrate is that 4 million Kenyans might actually come out of the CRB's list, which is a good thing, so they can be able then to access this at that 8% interest rate. But we're going to see the explanation once it comes out completely, because right now what we do know is that yes, the interest rate is 8% per annum, but then, 8% maybe for 2 weeks. But then once the entire qualification list comes out and the outlook of this fund, then we'll be able to critique it. But with the way it stands, not so different from the likes of the Fuliza and the Mshwari and KCB and Pesa loans the majority of Kenyans have been complaining about.
And those details will be coming shortly, obviously, because we'll be cruising live over there. And at around 10 p.m. is when the launch is officially going to begin, and launched by His Excellency, the President, William Ruto. But Simba, before we go, there's something very interesting on page 3 of the Standard. Kenya facing a condom shortage as a festive season, school holidays start. And a very interesting point here, that the demand for condoms starts at 460 million against 150 million the government procures.
Well,
right.
And I said that story. Was it in Kajiado? But I don't want to say, because I can't put a finger on it. Where is it? Out of 16,000 students that were tested for STDs, they found that 12,000 were positive. Did you see that story?
Right.
the consequences, you would say, isn't it, Nelima?
Alarming numbers.
Yeah, that's alarming. That's quite alarming. And we're looking at the number of pregnancies for the candidates who have just completed sitting for their KCPE exams. Did you see that?
Right, and especially in Narok.
I'm telling you
and
that.
as well as very many students who tested positive to the STIs, the sexually transmitted infections. So I believe that is a conversation that we should be having soon right here. Because again, here on the Morning Drift, we'd like to make sure that even the well-being is catered for as well. So as much as we keep you informed about what's current, then we also take care of your well-being.
I'll tell you that, by the way. Just let's leave it there. Are you donating this morning, like Nelima, to the pay bill for drought and hunger response? You can also talk to us at Kiage Simba and Nancy Nelima. Where you at? At
Nelima Nancy on Twitter. We do have to take a very short break, but Simba will be right back to let you know what's happening in the news, what's current.
On 1st December 2022, we are marking World AIDS Day at Dagoretti Sub-County Hospital in Mutuini. We are calling out people to come and get tested for HIV/AIDS. So come all and be tested and get a ball.
The Healing Jesus campaign is coming to Kenya. Join evangelist Dag Heward-Mills as he preaches the gospel of salvation with miracles, signs and wonders. The campaign will be held in 2 towns, Tika on the 29th of November to the 1st of December and Nyeri from the 2nd to 4th of December at 4 p.m. each night. There will also be a dynamic gathering for pastors dubbed Identifying Dangerous Enemies Conference during the mornings of the Tika campaign from the 29th of November to the 1st of December. In addition, there will be a pastors conference on the 3rd of December, which is the 2nd day of the Nyeri campaign. For more information and registration, please call the numbers on the screen. +254 792 123 789 or +254 724 049 619. You can also visit the website ideckenya.org. Kenya will never be the same again after this encounter with the Anointed and His anointing through the Healing Jesus campaign. We will see you there.
To know one's rights, often it is an adventure, especially when the opponent seems stronger.
Mradi huu uliingia kwa kishindo maeneo yetu ya Lamu kuja kufieka maeneo na makaazi ya watu.
We want to show you what ordinary people can achieve.
Kenya is now a strong democracy with the independent judiciary.
Our journey to justice.
My name is Simba Charles Kiage. Let's cross into the newsroom right now so we can see some of the headlines that you are pushing your day with. Now, there's Mio leader Raila Amolo Odinga has cancelled Wednesday's anti-government rally in Kamukunji, Nairobi. The rally that was to culminate into a peaceful demonstration within the city centre will now take place on December 7th. Henry Tende opens this bulletin.
Opposition group Azimio now says the ongoing hearings of the 4 indicted IEBC commissioners by the Justice and Legal Affairs Committee is a deliberate ploy by the Kenya Kwanza government to rig the 2027 general elections and has nothing to do with their actions in the just concluded elections.
Our stand remains that the focus on the 4 commissioners is not about 2022 elections. It's about 2027 elections, whose rigging the Ruto regime is putting in place in 2022.
In a joint statement read by Minority Leader Opiyo Wandayi, after a meeting of members of parliament elected under the Azimio umbrella, the alliance maintains the hearings by the JLAC committee are unconstitutional and a violation of individual rights of the 4 commissioners. This, even as they insist they will not recognize the outcome of the hearings.
That the Justice, Legal and Constitutional Affairs Committee of the National Assembly hearings against the 4 IEBC commissioners is a lynch mob, a hired hit squad, and an illegality with a predetermined position. We don't recognize it and won't recognize or honor its findings. Instead, we will fight it to the bitter end, in and outside the House.
The opposition is now calling on William Ruto's administration to put its house in order and focus on finding a solution to the deteriorating economy instead of casting their eyes on the 2027 polls.
We are aware that the product of the kangaroo proceedings in the name of JLAC is scheduled to be tabled on Thursday, 1st December 2022, and subsequently a special sitting of the House to sanitize the report is to be called on the 7th of December this year. This shows how desperate and insensitive the regime is. They are calling a special sitting not about hunger or drought, insecurity and related issues. Instead, they are focusing on petty political scores and 2027 elections.
On the controversial planned demonstrations that were to start tomorrow in reaction to key government decisions in recent past, Azimio says it has postponed such demonstrations to allow the ongoing national examinations to continue uninterrupted. The outfit will, however, resume their plans on December 7th.
We have decided to reschedule the start of our public engagements from tomorrow, the 30th of November 2022, to the 7th of December 2022, due to the ongoing national examinations. We have listened keenly to the appeals of parents and our school-going children, and we have decided to obey their wishes.
Already President William Ruto and a section of civil society have raised concerns with the planned demonstrations, urging the opposition leader Raila Odinga to find another way of criticizing the government. The head of state says demonstrations are ill-advised and will badly hurt an already ailing economy. The controversy surrounding the hearing of the 4 IEBC commissioners who went against the commission's chair, Wafula Chebukati, to declare President William Ruto as the winner of the just concluded election is deepening, with the fate yet to be known. Henry Tende, Lookuptv, Nairobi.
No Assembly has been given the green light to continue vetting the 51 permanent secretaries nominated by President William Ruto after the petitions presented against their nomination were dismissed. Judge Nduma Nderi has dismissed petitions filed by the Law Society of Kenya, LSK, and 2 other parties, noting that they were presented prematurely.
14 days after the court gave a temporary injunction stopping the vetting process of the 51 permanent secretaries nominated by President William Ruto, on Tuesday, Justice Nduma Nderi okayed the parliament to continue vetting Ruto's nominees. While issuing the order, Judge Nderi said that the court will review some of the issues presented by the Law Society of Kenya, LSK, after the National Assembly concludes the vetting process. In its application, LSK told the court that the appointment did not consider regional balance. In its pleadings to the council, Watchdog also asserted that the nomination by the president didn't meet the 2/3 rule, people living with disability and the youth. Before suspending the process, 22 out of the 51 permanent secretaries were already vetted by their respective committees of parliament. They include former IEBC Director for ICT James Muhati, who has been nominated as PS for Economic Planning, current Labour PS Peter Tum, nominated as Medical Services PS, and former Laikipia West Member of Parliament Patrick Mariro.
All right, moving on, let's look at the story about how a middle-aged man is now being detained at Kapsapet police station in Nandi County for allegedly frauding thousands of money from passengers, including 8 Nandi ward representatives who were to travel to Mombasa town. Anna Mitaru tells us more.
According to the passengers, the suspect Henry Magak presented himself as a Mashpoa company agent during their travel arrangements to Mombasa, where they made the payment.
Today we are here with honorable members of Nandi County Assembly reporting a very serious case on one man who has been on the run after conning innocent Kenyans of their sheer hard work. This man by the name Henry Magak has been purporting to be working with Mashpoa company, that is a transport company doing Kakamega Mombasa Road.
According to the report, when the passengers checked in to start their journey, the imposter agent was nowhere to be seen or traced, a situation that left them stranded, leading them to suffer and even sleep outside shops for more than 2 days while looking for alternative means of transportation.
Nilikuja hapa Kapsabet, Mashpoa, kubook gari. But the ticket yenye nilipewa, I was to board the bus using seat number 34. But venye bus ilikuja jana ilikuwa imejaa na ikaenda, tukaambiwa there is a second bus coming.
Nikaja hiyo jana, huyo kukata tiketi akakimbia akaniacha. Akasema gari inakuja, gari ikaja ya kwanza ikaenda. Ya pili akasema ya pili inakuja, pili haikukuja. Ndio nikakaa hapa mpaka ikafika saa 4 usiku. Kwa classic wakanisaidia na mattress. Nikatandika hapo nje nikalala hapo mpaka asubuhi, mpaka saa hizi sijapata ripoti yoyote. Na amechukua pesa zangu 3,000 ameenda nazo.
The management team of Mashpoa company has separated itself from the agent, asking the government to take action against the fake agency for tarnishing the company's reputation.
I was able to talk to somebody from Mashpoa in the morning, and they told me that they have no agent or any office in Kapsabet. Already, we have reported the matter to the police. I have the OB number so that the police can take up the action. So we want the authorities to take its action and the company.
With the festive season approaching, many Kenyans are set to travel to different places, and now this scam has seemed to be one of its kind. Mitaru Ann, Lookuptv.
4 people have died in Garissa County following an outbreak of cholera, with the first case reported in the Hangara refugee camp prior to the disease spreading to other areas of the county. Residents in the area have now been asked to remain cautious to avoid contracting the disease.
The cholera outbreak in Garissa has so far claimed 4 lives. According to the reports, the first case has been reported at the Hangara refugee camp, where 160 people are said to have contracted the disease, while 87 cases have been reported at other camps, including Dagayei.
Alianza kuhara na kutapika. Kwanza kutapika nikamleta hospitali madogo. Kutoka hapo akashinda hiyo siku ya Alhamisi mzima. Hasa ndio kufikia Ijumaa asubuhi saa 2 ndio akaaga dunia. Ningeomba hivi tafadhali, kama serikali ingeweza kutusaidia sisi watu ambao manake ugonjwa inatupata tu kikafla, hatujui, una pesa una chochote. Sasa ukileta mgonjwa hospitali unaambiwa nunue dawa fulani. Sasa tungeomba tafadhali ingewezekana serikali tuletee madawa.
Garissa County Executive Health Officer Ahmed Omar added that all efforts will be made to control the disease from spreading. Further, Garissa County Commissioner Boaz Cherutich asked the chiefs of the area to create awareness among residents.
Tokea kule Dadaab na sehemu za Garissa mjini, na kuna watu kadhaa ambao wamelaswa katika hospitali. Tuko na wagonjwa vile vile katika vijijini pale, na tumepoteza watu 3 kama vile mbelezo.
We call upon to the people of Garissa to scale up their hygiene and help us in disrupting and containing this disease.
Meanwhile, Nakuru Governor Susan Kihika has suffered a severe setback after failing in her attempt to have the petition against her list of 21 candidates for chief officer position halted.
In the circumstances and for all the reasons foregoing, the POs raised by the respondents are found to have no merits and are hereby dismissed.
In his ruling, Judge David Nderito dismissed Governor Kihika's request for lack of significance and convened the Court of Employment and Labor Relations to settle the disputes.
That this petition is in the nature of public litigation. Clearly, the petitioner did not file this petition in personam, but in lem.
Finally, tension continues to grip in Laikipia County Assembly after members of the County Assembly of Laikipia County are alleged to have the plan to impeach the Speaker of that assembly from power.
Na azima yetu kuu kama vijana katika kaunti ya Laikipia ni kuomba MCA wote ambao walichaguliwa 15 pamoja na wale walioamriwa katika kaunti ya Laikipia washikamane pamoja na Speaker katika kuhakikisha ya kwamba miswada ya vijana imeweza kutiliwa maanani.
The General Secretary of Laikipia County Jubilee Party, Mr. Michael Kabochi, has strongly rebelled against this plan and stated that all elected leaders should unite to serve the citizens as one, regardless of their political affiliations.
Twaweza penda kuona Laikipia ambayo iko na amani, twaweza penda kuona Laikipia ambayo viongozi waliochaguliwa na wananchi wanatenda kazi pamoja.
Grace Mureithi, Lookuptv.
So look a bit into what is going on in the business world, where Kiage Supermarket has opened 3 supermarkets in Eldoret, making it 22 outlets in the country. This gives customers an easy way of getting pocket-friendly goods in harsh economic times. The supermarket has launched Chota Kuchota promotion as well, which will see 7 vehicles, 1 over the Christmas festive period. This will give an opportunity to customers who buy goods worth 600 shillings and above to win a new vehicle at any of their branches.
This is our 22nd outlet in terms of the supermarket division, and for Eldoret this is our 3rd outlet. In today's opening we are having various offers in various products, grand opening offers and even Christmas offers. We are also having our Chota Kuchota promotion going on for the Christmas and back to school, and we wish our customers all the best in their shopping for this Christmas.
Hii ni tawi letu ya 22 nchini Kenya ambayo tunajivunia sana na kusema kwamba watu wa Eldoret tunawashukuru kwa kusupport kwa hii muda yote ambayo tumeingia hii mji. Vile vile tunaambia Wakenya wote siku ya leo tunazindua rasmi mashindano yetu ya Chota Kuchota ambayo inaanza rasmi leo. Ukiona mbele yetu hapo tuko na magari, ni magari 7 ambayo zinashindaniwa kote nchini, na vile vile tutakuwa na vitu mingi ambayo tunataka wananchi washinde kama pikipiki, tuko na microwaves, tuko na fridges, vile vile school vouchers.
Still on business, Centum PLC has become the 2nd company after Nation Media Group to buy back its shares from the market in a bid to rescue its share price through a share buyback program. John Mukora with that story.
Through a press statement, the listed firm says it has plans to buy back 10% of its 66,544,171 listed shares at a maximum price of 9 shillings and 3 cents. Speculation of Centum's intention to enter into the shares buyback program first appeared in the year 2020, but were shelved due to disruption of the COVID-19 pandemic on the market. The firm has seen its valuation gap in the stock market widen, with the company now valued at 16.18% of its net assets per share. Centum Investment Company narrowed its net loss by 2% to 1.3 billion shillings in the year ended March 2022, as weaker performance in its Two Rivers real estate asset offset improved profitability in other divisions. Edwin John Mokora, Lookuptv.
All right, let's move on to the last story that we have for you, where the Competition Authority of Kenya, CAK, has directed the Family Bank of Kenya to refund 1.4 million shillings to a customer for an unapplied waiver on a mortgage facility and an amount debited from her account without her consent to settle legal fees incurred by the bank. John Mukora returns again with that story.
The order by the Competition Authority is a result of an investigation following a complaint by a former employee who exited the bank after 11 years due to financial constraints. The employee was not in a position to service her loan. The lender responded by putting up the employee's property on auction in October 2017, which triggered the complainant to secure a court injunction to stop the sale, thus allowing her to secure a buyer. In November 2017, the bank is alleged to have debited an overdraft 399,800 shillings, which the bank claimed was the legal fee it would incur in the court proceedings. The complainant also contested the bank's decision not to waive 20% of the facility if fully settled, despite her exit letter indicating she was entitled to, since the letter did not provide the 30 days ultimatum. Edwin John Mokora, Lookuptv.
Fantastic. Now, that marks the end of the Morning Drift news right here on the Morning Drift. Wow, Lookuptv as well. Now, here's the thing though. There's, if you go back to, by the way, Nelima is still around. Nelima, good morning again.
Good morning.
So there's a story that I promised to tell you. There's a World Cup player for Cameroon. I know Ian Kitani is going to come and talk about that. But that is the first choice keeper, Andre Onana. He's been kicked out of that squad. And I'll tell you why. You see how nowadays keepers are normally considered as the last line of defense. They can kick the ball, they can play in the midfield, they can take penalties. You know, that's essentially a modern goalkeeper.
Right.
You also have a game that you're playing in that team. So Onana, in his mind, he doesn't want to stick to the goal post. You know, he just want to play part of that game. Now, 90% of Onana's time is spent out of the box. But his coach doesn't want that. In this World Cup, the coach wants him to remain at the goal post.
Onana, how many meters is it, by the way?
Yeah.
How many meters is the goal post?
Tell you what, it's like 6 meters apart.
Yeah, I always feel like it looks
4.5.
It looks small.
No, it doesn't.
And then depending, it could look small.
Yeah.
Depending on from which side you're looking at it.
Oh,
or
no,
it could
no,
look
no.
big.
Yeah.
If you're the goalkeeper.
Yeah. Now here's the thing.
And you have to man all of it.
That's it. He doesn't want to be there. He just wants to be considered as the last man in that defense.
Right.
So the coach said, "I'm telling you this, I want to play. I know you're a first choice goalkeeper, but you don't want to listen to me. Yeah? What's wrong with you?" Onana says, "I know I'm doing my duty as a goalkeeper, but then I don't think I should conform to the old goalkeeper roles of just remain at the goal post when the ball comes in. That's when you get involved in the game." Guess what?
So are there trends again now in football?
Yeah.
That things over years now, things are changing.
Yeah, they have.
That you can redefine the roles of the goalkeeper.
Of the goalkeeper, yes. There's some keepers are very good strikers, by the way. Some keepers are very good midfielders. I would tell you, there's this Manuel Neuer. He plays for Bayern. Very, very good keeper. Both his game in the middle of the park is really good. So Onana tries to think that he's one of those, yeah. And his coach told him, "Hey, Bona, maybe I'm playing World Cup. You go."
Is that the World Cup stage?
That's it, yeah.
This is the biggest stage.
This is the biggest stage, so you've got to listen to my instructions. So here's the thing, he left.
Right.
Yeah, he was kicked out. He left.
And Simba, something also very interesting is the African teams. You know that they started off on not a very nice note, but things seem to be catching up. The fire is now just starting to catch up, and now very positive.
Yeah,
with Ghana making us proud right there.
Yeah, and by the way, I've got to tell you, there's a game that everybody's watching. Ghana, Uruguay. The determiner of essentially who's going to make it to the last 16 in that particular group.
Right.
In 2010, Ghana essentially was supposed to make it to the semi-finals, save for one player. His name is Suarez, who handled the ball, and then we got into the penalties, and then we didn't make it out of the penalties. So guess what? It is a rematch for Africa. That's why I'm saying Ghana is going to make it.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think Ghana has a very beautiful flag. And
Yeah,
I don't know,
so?
there's something about the colors and the melanin. It works.
If Ghanaians are listening, you have a new citizen
Hala
right here.
at Nelima Nancy. Hashtag is morning drift though. And Simba, also as we close, remember this is the third day for the national examinations for the Kenya Certificate of Primary Education as well as KIPSEA, which is the national examinations for the grade 6 pupils who are set to join junior high. So we'll also be keeping our viewers up to date with what's happening in our schools. Yesterday, President William Ruto and Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua officiated the opening of some of the papers that were done yesterday. And of course, a promise of security and wishing the pupils the best. So today we're going to be looking at how final day, how it's going to turn out.
I will tell you that, by the way. I did see the president hand out some of the exam questionnaires to a couple of pupils in there, in Kibra. Isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, quite some good pictures. Regarding Gachagua, was in which school is that? I can't put my finger on it. Where he gave teachers 100,000 for a party after they clear the exams, and then students were given 300,000 for a bash after the exams. Interesting?
Yeah.
Yeah, you think they deserve a party after? For what reason?
But you know, the exam period is always the exam. Not even the exam period only. Even the preparation.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work. Early mornings, late nights. I believe there's a well-deserved party at the end of it all.
Yeah. No, I'll tell you that though. But it's just a 3-day exercise. That's why majority of people are saying, well, this exam is meaningless. Let's introduce CBC. And by the way, now, if your kid was supposed to go to junior high, as from next year, you're not so sure what you're going to do with your kid.
Right.
Nelima, by that is a conundrum that's building up then. Because they're done with exams, good, so what next? Because we haven't seen the CBC recommendations from the task force, and the president is a bit mute on that, on exactly what happens. Former government had already started building these classrooms, and they were saying that by next year they will be ready. But what we do know is that they were sort of put on hold, isn't it? For the task force to go around and collect opinions. So what's going to happen? Are they going to be told to avoid junior high as from next year?
Right, of course, and the results are going to be out before December ends.
Yeah.
And as well, the president is set to give a directive on that because the CBC task force did finish the public participation across the 47 counties and of course tabled the same in Parliament. So we'll be looking to see President William Ruto's directive on the CBC recommendations, as well as now the grade 6 pupils who are set to join junior high come January 2023.
Yeah, so what's going to happen? Because the government has not given a directive. Yeah?
Right. Someone told me that now that we're entering December, then people need to know about all the Christmas decor because the Christmas spirit is here. And in just, I don't know, our director should be telling us when we're going to be having the Christmas tree in studio because we want to have the Christmas cheer.
I'm not a believer for Christmas Nelima. Yeah, are you buying your Christmas tree?
I want a Christmas tree already.
Oh, you want?
Yeah. At my place, at my parents' place, everywhere.
Oh.
In the studios.
Oh my God, do not do that. You don't need it. And don't even put the Christmas thing that you put on the station logo once we officially start December. Many people like me do not believe in Christmas. Yeah, please, do not.
We'll talk about that.
Somebody's telling me not to be one of those people.
I believe I can win you over. I have so much Christmas cheer that will rub some of them on you.
Just a day. people just find to eat aimlessly and smile. I just don't get it.
Okay, and Simba.
Yeah.
How well or do you take care of your skin at all?
There is a thing that I've never thought about my skin. Just take a shower and that's it.
So you're just lucky that your skin is healthy.
Oh yeah, you think it's healthy?
It looks pretty okay from where I'm sitting.
Oh yeah. Nothing. I never think about it.
Right, and that is a conversation that we're having this morning because we just want to understand how important it is to take care of your skin. Everybody likes to pop, just to look amazing, and even for makeup to sit in well, then the skin has to be in good shape. It has to be healthy. And you know that taking care of yourself can even help prevent potential skin complications. Worse off, even skin cancer.
I'll tell you that.
So how well do you take care of your skin? And if you do not, why is it important for you to start doing it? That is a conversation this morning.
For men and women, isn't it?
For everyone.
Okay.
For everyone. For ladies, for gentlemen. We all have skin, and skin is covering most of our body.
Yeah.
Right.
That's it. Nancy Nelima will be coming your way with that conversation. For me, I go for my tea break. I will be joining you from 11 to 12. And I'll be bringing you local business. For now, it's a goodbye for me. Nelima will be back in like 5 minutes or so.
Vera Beauty and Fashion